In this chapter, we're going to look at personal finance and budgets. This lesson is about adjusting a budget. Right, hi everybody. So in this lesson, we're going to take a look at adjusting a budget. Okay, so you've got your budget, you've used it for a bit, and every once in a while here, we're going to have to tweak things, okay? Because your situation changes. The amount of money you make might change. Sometimes your expenses change. Sometimes there was something that you were spending money on that you're just not spending money on anymore. So you cut that out, but something else has come up. So remember, you're in control of your budget, not the other way around. So if there's something you want and it's important to you, then you just have to budget for it. So here's what you want to do. So if you haven't done so already, you might want to just create a monthly budget. But if you've got one already, we're just going to adjust the numbers here. Okay? So we're going to find jobs for every dollar that we're making here. And so we have all of that money working for you. And that's going to enable us to spend our money, okay, eventually on things that we want. But you want to try to say no to new debt. So like it says here, when you rack up more interest on your credit card or take up a new car payment, you're giving away your money, okay, that you could be using for an emergency fund or other savings accounts. Now, don't get me wrong. We need to get cars, okay? You need to have a car or at least have a mode of transportation, something that you can use. We need things. So, and sometimes you can't avoid the debt to get those things. And so, but we work that into our budget. But if you can avoid debt, okay, then you kind of want to make debt your enemy, and you want to avoid it, okay, because it kind of is. It works against you. It takes your money. The longer it takes you to pay back something, typically the more you're paying it back. Okay, you end up paying well beyond the value of that vehicle once all is said and done. So another way, okay, to deal with this is to sell something, or like it says, a whole lot of some things. A lot of us live with a lot more clutter than we need. We hold on to things that really are of no use to us anymore, but could be of use to somebody else, right? So there's lots of different places you can go to sell that stuff. Or maybe cut your expenses. I mean, there's all sorts of things that we probably pay for that we don't really need. Okay, gym memberships. A lot of people have gym memberships but never go. Okay, Amazon Prime, cable TV, magazines, right? Even looking at your cell phone plan. I mean, if you took a serious look at it and looked at how much you're actually using, how much data you're actually using, maybe you could stand to get a cheaper plan. Or, hey, try increasing your income. Take on an extra job, right? Maybe you work extra hours if you can, okay? There's lots of ways you can do that. You can, deliver newspapers, deliver pizza, okay? All sorts of other things that you can do to help generate more income if you need. Okay, so in this question we read, Gabe's monthly budget is shown below. Now it's on the other page here. And he currently has a deficit budget. So in other words, he has more expenses in his budget, okay, or at least the sum of his expenses is larger than his income. So he gets $1,525 every 2 weeks. Okay, so for a total of $3,050 in a month. Now, here are his expenses here, rent, utilities, food, and you can see that going down. And he's over by $200. So suggest 4 ways that Gabe could bring his budget back to zero. And then we're going to use the blank column to rework his budget to account for the shortfall. Okay, explain what you did and why. Okay, let's go up here and have a quick look. Now, there's some things that you really can't touch. Okay, for example, rent, you really can't deal too much with. Okay? Utilities, probably not. Okay? I mean, it depends on your arrangement with utilities, or even what you're using as a utility, or counting as utility. If you count maybe your phone or whatever, there some people do. Maybe that isn't something that you can work with. Probably not. Food, Well, that $350 here, that depends on that food. Is he going out? Okay, is a lot of this money him going out, or is this just groceries here? Now, if it's just groceries, then you know what? It's not a good idea to drop your budget on food. Okay, you got to eat. Insurance can't really deal with that. There, you got to pay that insurance here. Now, transportation though. Transportation, that could be gas, that could be bus. I'm not 100% sure what that might be. Okay. However, we might be able to play with that a little bit. I mean, maybe we can drop that by, let's say, $25. Okay. So if we drop transportation, like if he decides maybe to use the bus instead for something, or ride his bike, maybe we can drop $25 off that. So then that takes that down to $100. So here's one place that we played with it. So in this case right here, we've now got $25 that we're playing with. Now remember, our goal is to get $200 here. Entertainment. Okay, entertainment here. Well, maybe he's got to make some hard choices here. Maybe we can cut out $75 out of that, drop that down to $100. Okay. Maybe he's got a habit of he likes going to the movies, and just go to less movies in a month here, right? So here's another spot here, and now we've saved $100. Clothing. He's got a budget of $75 per month. Well, maybe we don't need that. You know, maybe we can get away with, wearing some clothes a little bit longer. We'll cut that down just a little bit. Let's drop that down to 50. Whoops, sorry, I was going to write 25 there. Let's drop that down to 50, so we've saved $25. And then here, with miscellaneous, now look at the last two beyond here. $475 in loan payments. I'm not going to be able to deal with that. I got to pay that. And I don't suggest that you fiddle with the giving. Okay, I want to keep giving here, but we might be able to take that extra $75 that we need away from this miscellaneous here. Typically, with that miscellaneous, there's lots of little things that we're buying here. That the expression that I've often heard here is we're nickel and diming ourselves to death, right? These little expenditures that just add up really, really quickly. So let's take that extra $75 from there. We're still going to throw $260 there, but we've pulled $75 from that. And so there's our extra $200, and now we've got this total expenses here of $3,050. Okay, our budget is zeroed up. Okay, so I mean, explain what you did and below and why. Okay, I talked you through it as I was going through there. Now, what if Gabe has a goal to create a $1,000 emergency fund within 5 months? From your adjusted budget, suggest four other ways Gabe could achieve his goal. Where is the money going to come from? Now, if he wants $1,000, in 5 months, okay, that means $200 extra per month. So what we got to do back up here, we got to go back and reallocate some more money. Okay, now maybe at that point here, maybe he does stop going to the restaurant. Okay, so if there's some money in here where he's going to the restaurant, maybe we got to pull that out here. So I'm going to grab a different marker here. So we'll grab 50 from here. So this is going to take this down to 300. Okay, so we'll pull 50 out of there. Again, can't do much about rent, can't do much about utilities, can't do much about insurance. We're already taking a bit of a hit on transportation. Maybe we can't afford that. But hey, maybe we can afford to entertain ourselves in a different way. Let's maybe see if we can grab another $50 from there, which takes this down to 50. So here's 50. So now we've got 200 there. Maybe with the miscellaneous, Maybe we can grab some money from there. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it should be something like this. Maybe we should be looking at transportation. Maybe I can afford to drop maybe another $25 from there, so it's $75 on transportation. And then from my miscellaneous here, maybe I try to grab another $75 out of there. So it's going to drop this down to $185, and we've got this additional $75. Now, some of those decisions, those might be tight. That might be tough for Gabe. Okay, but if he wants $1,000, we're going to have to find it someplace. If he's got a big expense coming up and he knows it, something's got to give, and maybe that's the way he does it. Okay, in this question we read that Darian earns about $1,500 per month and has the following expenses. So here we go. Okay, housing, food, transportation, entertainment, giving, savings, and then miscellaneous. Now, he has found the following spending guidelines for people who live in his area. And this is what they suggest. So the question is, how does Darian's spending compare to the guidelines? And what categories does he need to adjust his spending? Well, let's just take a quick look here. So first of all, we're going to convert these into percentages. Okay, so I know that his total is $1,500. So I've gone through and converted his expenses into percentages. So 400 divided by 1,500, that's going to give me about 27%. And that's basically what I did for all of them. So it turns out 15% goes to food, 23% goes to transportation, 17% goes to entertainment. Now, isn't it interesting that he pays more on entertainment than he does food? Giving is 2%, savings 3%, and miscellaneous is 13%. Now let's take a quick look here. Housing should be 25 to 35%. Okay, well, he's good. He's right in the ballpark there with housing. He's good. Food should be about 10 to 20%. He's at 15, right smack in the middle. He's good. Transportation. Okay, transportation should typically be 10 to 15%. So he's larger than he's supposed to be there. He's got 23%. He's got, could be almost double what he needs there. Entertainment should be 5 to 10%. Now look what he's spending on entertainment. 17%. So he's greater than he should be there. Giving should be 2 to 10%. Well, he's at 2, but he's at the low end. So this one here could stand to be larger. This one's kind of less than what he should be doing there. Savings is 5 to 10%. Now here he really is lower because he's at 3%. And miscellaneous should be about 5 to 10%. And again, he's a little bit over. So these areas right here are places where the budget needs to be adjusted. He needs to be able to pull some money out of transportation, entertainment, and miscellaneous and redistribute those amongst a couple things that he's a little bit low on. Okay. Now, it wouldn't take him much to get giving and savings into places where they're supposed to be. And if he's still over, we can simply move stuff into housing and food. Okay. So if Dorian does not make any changes to his spending, how much money will he save in a year? Okay, well, he's saving. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. If Darian does not make changes to his spending, how much money will he save in 1 year? Well, he's saving $50 a month. Okay, so $50 a month times 12. Okay, just do that on my calculator over here, make sure I get it right. Okay, $600. He's going to save $600 in a year. So adjust Darian's budget so that he is within spending guidelines. Recalculate the amounts he can spend in each category and write them beside the table above. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's use some numbers here. They're going to work okay for him. So he's at 27% for the housing. He's at 15% for the food. Now I'm just comparing these things. He's at 23% for transportation. Okay, we're going to adjust the transportation here. We're going to drop it down to the high end. Let's make that 15%. Okay. For entertainment, he was at 17%. Again, let's just drop that down to the high end there and make that 10%. Miscellaneous. Okay. He was at 13%. Again, let's drop that down to the high end. Now, if we add up what we've got right there right now, we got 27 plus 15 plus 15 plus 10 plus 10. Okay, we're looking at 77% of his income. Sorry, that's 77%. So we have got 23% left over to work with. So what we could do here actually is we could make this 10% and 10%, and that still gives us an additional 3%. You know what? Let's put that additional 3%. Let's put that back onto the food. So let's make this 18%. Let's have him eating pretty well here. So let's now fix his budget, okay, based on our new percentages. So he's got $1,500, and now I'm going to leave it at 27%. So he's still going to pay $400 per month on that. But I've adjusted his food, so it's going to be 18% of $1,500. So that's going to be $270. So he can eat a little bit better. 15% towards transportation, that's $225. So something's going to change there. Something's got to change. Entertainment, we're only going to do 10%. So that's going to be $150. Giving, though, is going to be 10%. So again, that's going to be $150. And savings will be $150. And then we're going to go to 10%. Actually, we're going to have 100. It's interesting. I didn't really even notice that I had done 10% all the way down there. Anyway, so if he's now saving $150 a month, let's see what happens here. How much can he save then in 1 year? Well, if it's $150 a month times 12, well, he could, okay, he could save $1,800 in a year by adjusting his budget. Now, again, some of those decisions might be hard to live with, but if the goal is strong enough, then it's worth it. Okay, so in this question, we read that Andrea earns $3,532 per month, take-home pay, and wants to use the following budget guidelines. So here are the percentages that she's been given. So Andrea's housing costs are $1,250 per month, and her utilities are $235 per month. Andrea's financial goals are to save 15% and pay off her debts as quickly as possible. Okay, so what we're going to do here is it says construct a budget for Andrea that meets her goals by deciding on what percentages of her total she is going to need to spend in each category. And then once you have the percentages, calculate how much money she has to work with. So up here, what I'm going to do here is we're going to put two other columns here. We're going to put percentage, and then we're going to put money here. Now, we already know that she has to spend $1,250 a month in housing. $1,250. And she spends $235 in utilities. Now, let's figure out what the percentage is. So $1,250 divided by $3,532. So that means she is spending 35% on housing. $235 for utilities. If I divide that by $3,532, she is spending 7% on utilities. Okay, so she's kind of at the lower end. She's right at the top for housing, but on the lower end for her utilities here. Now, she wants to spend. So she wants to be able to save at least 15%. So let's just say that. Oh, sorry. She wants to save 15%, and they're suggesting at least 10%. So let's suggest that she goes right up to 15%. And if she wants to pay back her debts as quickly as possible, let's go right up to 12. Now, that means, I'm going to figure this out here, 12% of 3532. So she is going to spend $423.84 on debt repayment, and her savings, $3,532, she's going to spend $529.80. Put that into her savings. Okay, So now, what are we looking at for percentages? So she's got 35% plus 7% plus 12 plus 15. Okay, that gives us 69% that we have left to deal with here. And what have we got? Well, let's just take a quick look at this. If we were to like just kind of max out everything here, where does that put us? Well, what's 12%? Okay, plus 18% plus 12% plus 15%. Well, that's 57%. So you know what? We actually have a little bit more room here to play with this. So we could actually max this out here. And I think a lot of it's because of her utilities are a little bit low here. So we could actually put this up to 12%, 18%, 12%, 15%. Now, that still leaves us with an extra 12% left over. Now, I'm going to calculate the money here in just a second here. So let's maybe split that up and add 6% more to each one of these things. So if I add that, it's going to be 18%, and this will be 21%. Now, I'm just going to double check that the math works out here. So 35 plus 7 plus 12 plus 18 plus 21 plus 18 plus 12 plus 15. Oh, I miscounted something along the way here. Okay, this is a good teaching moment here. That ended up being 138%. Okay, so clearly I made a little error there, and that's okay. Actually, this is a good thing to have a quick look at. Let's do this again. Okay, let's do this again here, and let's go back to this was 12 and 15%. I want to double check what my sum is here. So 35% plus 7% plus 12 plus 15. Okay. Oh, I know where I screwed that up. Sorry. That's the 69%. Now, but that's what's left over is there's 31% left over to go to these four categories. Okay, I've got 31% left over, not the 69%. That's where I made the mistake here. So we're going to leave those. Now, what we might want to do here is get close to maxing out the food and the transportation here. So let's maybe throw 10% to transportation here and maybe 15% to food. Okay, so that's going to be 25%. And that leaves us with, okay, that leaves us with 6% left over to go between these two, which isn't really a lot there. So maybe we need to adjust that again. Maybe we need to drop transportation down instead of 10%. Okay, let's maybe drop that down to 8%. We're at the low end there. For food, okay, let's drop that down to 12%. So that together. Okay, that together is 20%. So that leaves us with 11% left over. Either way, we're not going to be doing too terribly well here. So maybe we put this at the low bound 8% because health and personal care here, and then leave that at 3%. Okay. Now it's either that or we start to jump in and work with our debt repayment. Okay. Or our savings, and maybe we do have to play with that. Now, let's calculate how much she's going to be spending here. So 8% times 35.32, that's $282.56. 12% of 35.32 is $432.84. Okay, this is a tough one. 3%. Okay. Is going to be $105.96, and 8% of 35.32 is going to be $282.56. Okay. Now, let's go down to the bottom here. Where or what categories does Andrea have to really watch her spending to achieve these goals? Well, look, there are certain things here that are kind of non-negotiables. Housing is non-negotiable, probably your utilities. Now, we played with some of those things where she's, I think, really going to have to watch this is with recreation, okay, and food. Okay, for a lot of us, it's really, really easy to start plopping down a little bit of money here and there on food. I mean, a lot of us eat our paychecks, particularly when we're young. Okay, when we have a lot of disposable income, we tend to eat it. So those are things that she's really going to need to look out for. Okay, so Javier is your accountability partner, and he shows you his budget below and asks for some advice. So here's his budget. Okay, so he gets paid twice a month. He's got some tips coming in, and then he's got some expenses here. So first question is, determine if Javier has a balanced budget or not. Okay, so let's go through and take a look at this. So he's making $1658.65. We're going to multiply that by 2 and add $250. And we're going to get that he is making, in a month, $3,567.03. Now, let's take a look at his expenses and add them up here. So $998.84 plus $428.08 plus $356.73 plus $285.38 plus $107.02 plus $321.06 plus $214.04 plus $249.71 plus $142.69 plus $428.08. And I have got $3,531.63. Wonderful. Now, is it a balanced budget? Not exactly, no, but it is. And if I subtraction here, 3567.3 minus 3531.63. Okay, no, but it is under by $35.67. So he's got just a little bit of money left over that he can play with. So calculate the percentage of each category that each category represents of Javier's total income. Okay, so when we do this here, we're going to be dividing by 3567.3. And actually, you know what? We could probably even argue that it is balanced here because tips are going to fluctuate a little bit. So maybe that's where that little bit of wiggle room is coming in there. Anyway, so let's take that 3567.3. And we'll figure this out here. So, whoops, you can't see that. 998.84, divided by 3567.3. Okay, so this is going to be about 28%. 428.08 divided by 3567.3. Okay, that's 12%. 356.73. Okay, divided by 3567.3 is going to be 10%. Okay, now I'm going to do all these and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I finished going through and putting the percentages in. So housing was 28, utilities was 12, food was 10, transportation was 8, emergency fund was 3, school savings was 9, car payment was 6, entertainment was 7, giving was 4, and miscellaneous was 12. Okay, so we've put the percentages in here. Now, if one of Javier's financial goals is to establish at least $1,000 in an emergency fund, how long is it going to take him to do that? Well, he's putting away $107.02 a month into that emergency fund. So let's take 1,000 and divide that by 107.2. Whoops. Sorry, I don't know why I put a decimal there. 107.2. So 1,000 divided by 107.2. Well, it's going to take a little bit more than 9 months. Okay, so let's round that up here. This is going to be approximately 10 months to get that emergency fund set aside. Okay, a couple more questions here. Now, Javier's school savings fund is going to pay his tuition, books, and fees for his first year at university. Now, he searched his school's program website and finds it'll cost $9,190. Okay? At the current rate, will he have saved enough if the school start date is for 1 year and 8 months away? How much is he going to be over or short? Well, first of all, let's figure out how much is he saving. Whoops. Sorry, wrong page. How much is he saving in that per month? For his school savings fund, it's $321.06 a month. So he's got $321.06 per month. Now, he needs $91.90. So let's divide that by 321.06. Okay, and this is going to tell us how many months it's going to take. And that is going to take, it says 28.6. So more than 28 months. It's going to take 29 months. Now, is that going to be enough? Well, no. Because 1 year, 8 months, that's going to be 12 months plus 8 months. He's wanting that in 20 months. He's not going to get that until 21 months. So he needs to be able to throw some additional money at that. Okay, find some extra money here or there to make that work. So how much money is he going to be over or short? Well, let's take that. He needs 91.90. We're going to subtract 321.06. We're going to multiply that by 20. Okay, he's going to be short by $2,768. He's short $2,768.80. Okay. Now, this last question, I'm going to kind of leave in your ballpark, something to think about here. So, as Javier's accountability partner, what specific suggestions would you give him if his goals are to cover his living expenses, pay for his first year of schooling, establish a $3,000 emergency fund, and pay off his 48-month car loan, all within 1 year and 8 months? Okay? 1 year. Give specific advice that involves mathematical calculations. Suggest using percentages to adjust the budget amounts. Now, okay, this is where this gets to be kind of your own interpretation of this. There is no one right answer for this. Okay, we've already looked at some examples that require kind of making some decisions and grabbing from here and there things that seem reasonable to you. Okay, and some suggestions for one person. Some things are more important to people than to other people. So this really is kind of a your question here. But it looks like we're gonna have to make some pretty big plans here, right? Because if we want to cover his living expenses and pay for his first year of schooling, well, we needed to find an additional $2,768.80, and he wants a $3,000 emergency fund. Now, in 1 year and 8 months, he was on track to save a fair bit more for that emergency fund, so we're going to have to dump a little bit more money in there. Anyway, I want to leave that for you guys to kind of think about. You'll know when you got it right when the numbers all work out here. But that is kind of up to you to make those decisions. So hopefully that gives you something to think about.